Hey, what's up, guys? Spencer Rhodes here. So, Alpha was a character that appeared in seasons 9 and 10 of The Walking Dead. She was pretty much the main villain in seasons 9 and 10. I mean, the Whisperers overall are pretty much, in a way, they're the main villain of seasons 9 and 10. They're not the main villain in season 11 because they're pretty much gone. They're pretty much done for at the end of season 10. There might be a few Whisperers left lurking around, but for the most part, the good guys took care of them. They wiped them out at the end of season 10. Alpha's dead. Beta's dead. The Whisperers are dead. They're gone pretty much. Even if there's a few of them, they're pretty much gone. But yeah, in seasons 9 and 10, they were basically the main antagonists. We met the Whisperers in around episode 7, episode 8 of season 9. We started getting hints of them and started seeing them. And at first we didn't know, like we, the audience, we didn't know if they were talking walkers or not, but it turned out to be people wearing dead skin and pretending to be walkers and kind of blending in. For a lot of people, it's not a plot twist because it's in the comics and we read it in the comics, so we knew it was coming. We knew it wasn't talking walkers. But yeah, the Whisperers were a huge threat in seasons 9 and 10. A lot of characters got killed. Tara, Enid, Henry, DJ, Ozzy, Frankie, Tammy, they all got decapitated by Alpha and the Whisperers. Then later on, characters like Sadiq, Earl, Laura, they got killed. But Alpha was the leader, so she's pretty much the main antagonist, the main villain, the main bad guy, and she's based off the comics. She's the leader of the Whisperers, just like she is in the comics, and she's a little different from the comics. Her death is largely the same. She gets killed by Negan. Negan kills her in sort of a twist while pretending to want to be a Whisperer himself, to want to join them, and then he ends up tricking Alpha, and turns out Negan has this big master plan to kill Alpha and kind of help prove himself to the good guys, to prove that he's rehabilitated from the things he used to do, killing Glenn and Abraham, being the leader of the Saviors. Negan is trying to turn a new leaf, so he has this big plot where he pretends to want to be a Whisperer for a while, and then when Alpha lets her guard down, Negan kills her. It's a little different in the show. There's definitely a few differences. In the show, Negan, he kind of goes along with it farther than in the comics. I mean, in the comics, I don't even think we see him wearing a mask. I don't recall that. It's been a while since I've read an issue, but we don't even see Negan wear a mask. It's like he's a part of the Whisperers for one issue, like 15 pages worth, and then he kills Alpha. And that's it. But in the show, he wants to be a Whisperer for episodes and episodes. He enjoys it. He confesses that much to Daryl. He enjoys being a Whisperer. And his dynamic with Alpha, it's kind of romantic. They sleep together. They have sex. I don't think they had sex in the comics. He flirts with her in the comics, but they don't have sex or anything. So overall in the show, it's more dramatic. It's more drawn out. He doesn't just say a few things to her that kind of tricks her, then kills her. He spends hours and hours and days with her, and he is a Whisperer, and he helps the Whisperers for a while. He really commits to it. And then, after a while, he ends up killing Alpha. And he acts like he doesn't want to do it. I think he kisses her after he kills her. He's sad about killing her. In the comics, he's not sad at all. He's enjoying himself. But, yeah, in both the show and the comics, Alpha is this ruthless leader. She kills without mercy. She just, she has her code, and she's basically this leader of this pack of animals. That's pretty much what the Whisperers are at the end of the day. They're a pack of animals. They're an army of animals that think that, their way is the best way. And they think everyone else, like the people at Alexandria, they're just a lie. They're just a hoax. They're trying to rebuild a world that's long dead, and the Whisperers are the ones that have it right. they're the ones that go with nature. You know, they really go with nature. They act like animals. They do savage things. And Alpha was an awesome, awesome villain on the TV show. Samantha Morton, I just loved her. For me, she was one of the best parts of seasons 9 and 10. Definitely one of the best parts of season 10. The season 10, I'm going to have to rewatch it. Definitely had some issues with it. I feel like I liked it overall, but I'm kind of frustrated with some of the filler and some of the budget problems that they continue to have. The AMC refuses to fix. The Whisperer War should have been this big, grand, awesome thing where they're just fighting hordes of walkers for episodes and riding horses and characters die and there's no filler. It should have been action-packed, especially if it was all going to end in season 10. I thought the Whisperer War would continue on towards the first half of season 11, but it's pretty much resolved in season 10. And there's a lot of build-up, a lot of build-up, a lot of build-up, a lot of filler, and then it's just kind of resolved sort of quickly. It just seemed like they kept promising big things and then not giving them to us. So season 10, I like it, but I just have some frustrations with it. Samantha Morton's performance as Alpha is one of the saving graces of season 10 for me. It's one of the best parts of season 10. And she dies around 3/4 into season 10. Season 10, episode 12, I believe, is when Negan kills her. And it's kind of a shame because I enjoyed her so much and she was so awesome that it sucks that she gets killed and she's gone, because I feel like she was one of the best parts of season 10. Like I said, I like season 10, but she's definitely one of my favorite parts because season 10 does have some issues, particularly the first half. I really feel like they dragged out that whole sickness arc with Dante poisoning people. It's season 10, like the season 10A just seemed like a whole lot of nothing. And then season 10B, there's a couple of quick battles, a couple of quick action scenes. It's quick, that's it. It's over. Nothing else that's exciting. It just frustrating. I feel like it's a budget thing. I can tell it's a budget thing with AMC not wanting to spend money on their show, the show that made them. But I'll rant about that in other videos. But yeah, she was one of my favorite parts by far. An awesome villain. Possibly the best villain in the series, I feel. I don't know if she's better than the Governor or not. I'm not really trying to debate that. I don't even know. I haven't even decided that. Is Alpha a better villain than the Governor? Or was the Governor a better villain? I think she was definitely an improvement over Negan. Negan was a good villain. I mean, Jeffrey Dean Morgan gave a solid performance. But Alpha was I feel like she was a more effective villain, a more effective main villain. I just enjoyed and savored every second she was on screen. She was terrifying in a good way, and the way she just really, really owns the whole animal thing, the whole leader thing. I just loved that. As far as whether or not she was killed off too soon, my answer to that is no. I don't think she was killed off too soon. I think she lasted perfectly long. She was introduced in the mid-season premiere of season 9, episode 9, I believe, and she was killed off in season 10, episode 12. She lasted 20 episodes, pretty much over a season, a little over a season. And I mean, she lasted a little longer in the show than she did the comics, maybe about the same, a little longer in the show than the comics. I feel like they gave her more material to work with to make her more of an effective villain. In the comics, Beta really seems like a bigger villain than Alpha. Beta really kind of lives longer and does more damage and seems like more of an important part of bad things that happen to characters like Andrea getting bitten and Negan losing Lucille, which obviously doesn't happen in the show. But in the show, Alpha really seems like she has this bigger presence than Beta, and Beta's just kind of like her sidekick, and Beta just dies a little bit after Alpha, just a few episodes later than Alpha. In the comics, Beta outlives Alpha by a pretty big chunk and just kind of carries over a bigger presence. Alpha in the comics just sort of seemed like this villain that she had a lot of potential, but then it's just kind of cut short in a twist when Negan kills her. But in the show, I feel like they really fleshed her out and gave her a lot of material while still killing her off in, a little over a season. But still, I don't think she needed to live longer. Yes, I enjoyed every second she was on screen. I loved every second of her. She was a great villain. Samantha Morton gave a great performance as Alpha. I loved her. I loved the way she really acted like an animal. I just loved everything about her, and she was great. She was great, but there are things that happen in the comics that it's just kind of meant to be. And yeah, Negan killing her, cutting her head off and everything, and delivering it as sort of a redemption arc for Negan, as sort of a peace offering for the good guys. Like, hey, I'm really a good guy now. Here's Alpha's head. I am kind of happy they went for that. I am happy that they did that. I'm mostly just happy that Alpha made it to the back half of season 10. I don't think she needed to live much longer than that. I'm just happy she made it to the back half of season 10. Because I remember when season 9 ended over a year ago, and I was worried that she would die in the first few episodes, like the first 2 or 3 episodes of season 10. And that didn't happen. She made it all the way to episode 12. It was going to be episode 13, but they switched 12 and 13 around. So she lasts most of season 10, and she's in half of season 9. So I feel like as a main villain, she lasted long enough, and she didn't have much in the comics, and I feel like the comics are always sort of a guide for the show. It's kind of a guide. They take things from the comics and they change them up where they see fit, but they try to sort of, to a point, sort of do some of the same thing. And I feel like they did a good job about doing that when it came to Alpha. They still did the same thing in the comic, but they improved it a great deal. They fleshed out Alpha a great deal more than Robert Kirkman fleshed her out in the comics. They gave her a better, more dramatic death than the one she got in the comics. While it still has the same key notes into it, like Negan killing her and cutting her head off, and Negan tricking her and her issues with Lydia. I feel like Alpha in the show overall, she's just 100 times better than Alpha in the comics. They really, really improved her, and they gave her a good death. They gave her a good death. The way she gets killed by Negan, it's just so much better. All of it is just a lot better than the comics. And yes, I love her. She was a great villain, a great bad guy, but I feel like her time was up. It was time to do it. It was time to do it like they did in the comics where Negan kills her. They needed to do the same thing. I like the idea of what they do in the comics where Negan kills her, cuts her head off, and then Beta gets angry and unleashes the whole Walker army on the good guys as revenge. And Alpha's gone, so the Whisperers lack her leadership, but Beta kind of takes over and he's unstable and angry. And Negan's trying to prove himself to the good guys because he just killed Alpha. I like that. I like those things happening. I did not need Alpha in season 11. Like I said, I was just happy that it wasn't one of those things where she gets killed off, in season 10, episode 3, season 10, episode 4. I'm happy that she wasn't killed off in the beginning of season 10. That was something I was worried about happening. As far as season 10 goes, she lasted long enough. I'm happy with how long she lived. I'm happy with her death. I'm happy with her time on the show. She was a great character, left a great impact, but so have so many other characters that have died, and she's just one of those characters that dies, that needs to die. And I feel like it was her time. It was the right time for her to go. So no, I don't think we needed an Alpha in season 11. We didn't need Beta dying before Alpha as a remix. The show remixes death sometimes, but that's not one of those remixes I wanted. I'm happy with what they did. They took something in the comics and they expanded on it, and they gave her a lot more material, and they killed her off in the right time. Now, if only they can do the same thing for Magna. Okay, that's kind of off topic, but yeah, I'm happy with how Alpha died, and I did not need her to live longer. I think she was killed off in the right time. Anyway, that's all I have for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and as always, don't be shy. Hit that like and subscribe. I'm not going anywhere. I make 1 to 2 Walking Dead videos per day, so please hit that subscribe button. Right now we are at 867 subscribers. My goal is to try to get to 1,000 in the next few months. So just remember, every subscriber counts, every bit of support matters, and is very, very appreciated. Hopefully we can get to that goal of 1,000. With all that said, I am Spencer Rhodes, and I will see you guys later. Bye.